He stole her money. He destroyed her trust. But the man she never expected would change her life forever was the husband of the woman who ruined her marriage. I used to believe betrayal happened slowly. A missed phone call. A cold smile. Late nights at work. But in my case, betrayal arrived in one brutal afternoon. I was sitting in my car outside the bank, staring at my phone screen while my hands trembled. Balance, $147.13. That had to be wrong. 3 years of savings couldn't disappear overnight. I refreshed the app again. Still the same. My chest tightened. No. I rushed inside the bank so fast I almost dropped my purse. The young teller behind the counter looked nervous as I shoved my ID toward her. "There's a mistake," I whispered. She typed quietly, then looked up with pity in her eyes. "Ma'am, the withdrawals were authorized from your joint account." Joint account. My husband's name sat beside mine like a knife. Daniel. For 11 years, I had trusted that man with everything. I worked double shifts as a pediatric nurse while he'd built his business. I skipped vacations. I wore old shoes. I canceled birthdays and girls' trips because we were saving for the future. Our future. Or so I thought. The teller turned the screen toward me. Luxury hotel charges. Designer stores. Jewelry purchases. Spa resorts. And then I saw the name attached to one transfer memo. Vanessa. The woman from Daniel's office parties. Tall. Perfect hair. Fake laugh. The woman he once told me not to worry about. I stopped breathing for a second. "You okay, ma'am?" No. I wasn't okay. My husband had emptied our savings account for another woman. And somehow, that wasn't even the worst part. That evening, I sat in the dark living room waiting for Daniel to come home. Rain tapped softly against the windows. At 9:14 p.m., headlights flashed outside. The front door opened. Daniel walked in smiling at his phone. He didn't notice me at first. Then he froze. "You scared me," he muttered. I stood slowly. "Where's the money?" His expression changed instantly. "What?" "Our savings." He loosened his tie. "We'll talk later." "No," I snapped. "We talk now." For a moment, silence swallowed the room. Then he sighed the way exhausted parents sigh at difficult children. "I was going to tell you eventually." Eventually. That word shattered something inside me. "You stole from me." "I invested it." "In your mistress?" His jaw tightened. "Don't start being dramatic." Dramatic. 11 years. Gone. Reduced to one cruel sentence. I felt tears burn my eyes, but I refused to let them fall. "How long?" He looked away. 8 months. 8 months. While I cooked his dinners. While I washed his clothes. While I prayed for his stress and kissed him goodbye every morning. 8 months. "She understands me," he said quietly. I laughed. Not because it was funny. Because pain had reached a level where laughter became survival. "She understands you?" I whispered. "With my money? That's not fair." "Fair?" My voice cracked. "You drained everything we built." He rubbed his forehead impatiently. "You're overreacting." "I'll make it back." "You took my future." "No," he said coldly. "I took what belonged to both of us." That sentence destroyed the last piece of love I still had for him. I walked upstairs silently. "Where are you going?" he called. I turned back. "You know what hurts the most?" He didn't answer. "I would have died for you." For the first time that night. Daniel looked guilty. But guilt was too late. At 2 a.m., I sat alone in the kitchen staring at unpaid bills. Mortgage. Electricity. Medical debt from my mother's treatments. I had less than $200 left. 11 years erased. I felt humiliated. Stupid. Broken. Then suddenly, a knock at the door. I frowned. Who visits after midnight? I opened it carefully. And froze. A tall man stood beneath the porch light wearing a black coat soaked by rain. Sharp jawline. Cold gray eyes. Expensive watch. Behind him, a sleek black car idled silently. I'm looking for Claire Morgan, he said calmly. That's me. His gaze softened slightly. My name is Adrian Cole. Something about him felt powerful. Dangerously controlled. What do you want? He looked at me for a long moment before speaking. I believe your husband is having an affair with my wife. My entire body went numb. And then he said the sentence that changed my life forever. I own a private jet, he said quietly. And I know exactly how revenge feels. I stared at Adrian in complete shock. Rain poured behind him while my world kept collapsing piece by piece. My wife's name is Vanessa, he said quietly. I found messages between her and your husband. I almost lost my balance. So it was true. Not suspicion. Not fear. Truth. Adrian stepped inside and placed a folder on the table. Hotel receipts. Photos. Bank transfers. Every painful detail. I'm sorry, he said. That was the first genuine apology I had heard in months. And somehow, it hurt more than the betrayal itself. Over the next few days, Adrian helped me uncover everything Daniel had hidden. My husband had used my savings to buy Vanessa luxury bags, vacations, and even a car. Meanwhile, I had been working overtime just to pay bills. I cried in Adrian's office one afternoon, embarrassed by my own tears. You don't have to be ashamed, he said softly. But I trusted him. Adrian looked out the window. So did I. For the first time, I realized rich people could break too. Pain didn't care about money. A week later, Daniel came home smiling like nothing had happened. Until he saw divorce papers on the table. His face went pale. You're serious? No, I said coldly. This is just for fun. Claire. You chose her. She means nothing. I laughed bitterly. She meant enough to spend my future on. He tried apologizing. Crying. Begging. But the strange thing about betrayal is this. Once your heart finally dies, it never hears excuses again. I walked past him without fear. And for the first time in years, I felt free. 3 months later, Daniel lost his job after the affair became public. Vanessa left him for another man. Karma arrived faster than either of them expected. As for me, I slowly rebuilt my life. Adrian helped me start a small healthcare business for struggling single mothers. But somewhere between late-night meetings and shared pain, we stopped feeling like strangers. One evening, he took me on his private jet for a charity event. As city lights glowed beneath us, he looked at me carefully. You know, he said softly, meeting you was the only good thing that came from all this. My eyes filled with tears. Because after everything, someone finally saw my worth. Not my sacrifices. Not my money. Me. I smiled through trembling tears. And for the first time after years of heartbreak, I believed life could begin again. Red heart. Backhand index pointing right. Subscribe for more emotional real-life love and betrayal stories every day. Bell.